Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a Mk6 GTi Edition 35, quite a rare car in my opinion. It's a car that I should have got at one moment in life, but I kind of leapfrogged it and ended up getting something else at the time. So it's one of those, it's a bit of a nostalgia for myself. But what we're going to do is talk to you guys about this car very quickly. The rain has just started, so let's just kind of do a quick walk around of the car, do a startup and some exhaust notes, and then get it on those country lanes. So here we go guys, this is the Edition 35 Golf GTi. There's a few telltale signs this is an Edition 35 because we have got the 19-inch alloy wheels, which are the Glendale ones. These are wrapped in the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. We've also got a subtle 35 badge on the side here. We've got black side wing mirrors as well. I think this car, although it has been around for a few years, like this is a 2012 model year car, it still looks quite fresh. Although it's based on the Mark V, I actually prefer the Mark 6. What I really like about the GTi is that you get these red accent lines running on the honeycomb grille on the front, which really tells you that it's a GTi. And this one does have the LED headlights as well. Well, you got the LED DRLs and then you got the Xenons, because I think the LEDs weren't about back in 2012. So this GTi is quite a high spec one. As you can see, it's got park assist with the sensors. The other telltale sign is that on the Edition 35 you do have a subtle splitter at the bottom. So another subtle upgrade to the Edition 35 are those side skirts. They're the same as you'd find on the Mark 6 Golf R. So like I said, this is quite a highly spec GTi. So you've got the LED lights at the rear end. It's got the twin exit exhaust pipes. The car is a little bit dirty. Those are usually chrome, but they're just looking a little dark right now. And you've got the obligatory GTi badge on the left hand side. The GTi theme continues. We've got the optional leather interior. We've got a GTi logo embossed into the headrest. These seats look really supportive. We'll find out on the drive how supportive they are. You've got the GTi logo on the adjustment right here, which is a really nice touch. You've also got the 35 kick plates, again a very nice touch. What I really like is this sporty steering wheel. It's a flat bottom, it's leather wrapped with like red stitching, again a very nice touch, and the GTi logo right there. And what I really like is the analog dials. I'm a huge fan of analog dials, like I was mentioning more in my previous video, and what I like about this one is right there in the middle between the two dials you've got a digital display which is colour. You've also got the RNS 510 infotainment system. This again is an upgraded system. The DSG auto gearbox, 6-speed, double clutch, and also you've got adaptive damper control. Again, like I said, it's quite a highly spec car. You've also got next to it the park assist. So it is quite a highly spec GTi Edition 35. You've got a bit of carbon running along the main dash, but overall it's quite a nice place to be sitting. So guys, what we're going to do right now is give the car a start up and some revs, and then we're going to hit those country lanes. This is a pre-OPF car because OPF didn't even exist back in 2012, so it's going to have a real nice kind of crisp exhaust note. I'm not sure if it's going to do any burbles or not, but we'll find out anyway. So I'm really excited about, you know, getting behind the wheel of this car and taking it out on those country lanes, because this is the car at one moment in my life I was debating like getting into and buying, and unfortunately I didn't buy it and I bought something else. So it's going to be one of those kind of nostalgic moments where I kind of think, you know what, I should have just gone ahead and bought this car. Mk6 GTi Edition 35, a bit of a mouthful. Like I said, this is a car that I should have bought about 8 years ago when it was like fairly new. I leapfrogged this and I went and I got myself a Mercedes C-Class at the time, which wasn't a full-on performance car, but it was very similar money, and I kind of felt like, well, I'm getting a bit more. But right behind the wheel of this car right now, and it doesn't even feel like it's an 8-year-old car. It feels very modern. The interior still stacks up to that same kind of build quality, and the best thing about this that I find is that this has got that DSG gearbox. Now the power output of this car is around 235 horsepower. It was a little bit more than what you'd find in the Mark 6 GTi, the non-edition 35s. The torque on this is around 300 Newton meters of torque, which doesn't sound like a lot because most of the cars I've been in these days have had above 500, but that's besides the point. This is a hot hatch and it feels every bit like a hot hatch. The steering feel of this car really communicates really well with what the tyres are doing on the ground, and it feeds back straight into the palms of your hand. And I really love the way the steering wheel is. It's quite thin, it's got the right sculpture around these kind of sides here and a flat bottom as well, so it's got a real nice feel. The car, like I said, has got the adaptive damper control as well, which again is a real nice feature when you're on the country lane like this. I am going to stick the car into manual mode just behind a bit of traffic right now, so once we get to some twisties we're going to really see what this car is capable of. The tyres that are fitted to this car are the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres, and I've got no doubt that they're going to perform absolutely brilliantly on what is a greasy road today. These seats, they're really supportive and they're very comfortable as well. I mean, a lot of people would probably go for the cloth tartan seats because they add just a little bit more character. Personally, if you got a highly spec GTi Edition 35, you would just go for the leathers as well, and they do feel quite supportive because the bolstering is right there, right when you need it as well. So a real nice driving position, and like the seat, it just holds you in the right places at the right time. Right, what we're going to do now is put the car into its sports setting in terms of the gearbox. Let's just go manual as well. This is what I really like about GTIs. I have been in a few, even though they haven't featured on my channel. It's a kind of a split personality type of car. You can slip under the radar most of the time, go about your business, and then when you're on a country lane like this, you can flick the car into sports mode and have a right hoot. It's a very fun car. It's very responsive on the throttle as well as the steering. Steering is quite quick as well. You can just thread it through these corners. What I really like is the adaptive suspension on this car, the Magroid. It's sporty when you want it to be, and it's quite comfortable as well when you're just pulling around town. The car itself has got quite a nice sound. It's not too intrusive, it's not overly loud, but you know, if you map this you can probably get some more sound out of it, but then equally you probably, in my opinion, you probably ruin what is quite a future classic if you go down that route. Earlier on when I said that it's only got 235 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque, like I say, in this day and age that might not sound like a lot, but for the type of car this is, and when you're on this kind of a country lane, you can really put down all of that power. It doesn't really sap any of that away. Obviously being driven on these Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres, they're very grippy tyres, so you don't get any tyre slip, don't get any sap of power anywhere. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're not going to launch the car, even though this car's probably got launch control, but we're just going to floor it from here. No torque steer whatsoever. You can probably see that I'm smiling quite a bit, and that's only because I'm really enjoying what is quite a capable car around these country lanes. No, this is it. I should have bought this car back then. I mean, I ended up buying a C-Class Merc, which fine, you know, it was great and he was up for the job, but that never gave me the smiles like this did. And to be honest with you, I'm still not late to the party because I can still go out and get one of these cars. The Edition 35 is a very sharp car, guys. I can't even argue with this. You know, I wasn't expecting this to be a bad car, but it's where I was expecting this to be in terms of performance. It's just exceeded that. So it just goes to show that, you know, this car, even though it's like a Mark 6 and right now you got like up to like the Mark 8, like 2 editions on, this is still a very capable car on these country lanes. And this isn't by any way, it's not even tuned or anything like that. There's no like huge mods going on, apart from the tyres, which aren't really a mod. There's no mods going on with this car, and it's just brilliant on these roads. Like, there's no torque steer, so you're not like say gripping for like say the road when you like, you know, hard on the accelerator, or when you like say throwing you around some corners. It's just got the right amount of power. Yes, you probably can do with a little bit more, I ain't gonna argue with that, and that's only because I've just got so used to driving much more modern cars that, you know, have more power. But what this car does make you do is chase that red line. And when you're in like say flappy paddle mode or like using manual mode, there's a lot of engagement going on. Now the true enthusiast will say, you know, go and get yourself like a manual GTI, which to be honest with you, yes, that would be the ultimate way forward if you want like say true driver engagement. But this, for what it is, as an everyday daily car in this setup, it's pretty good. I've driven like front wheel drive cars pushing 300, you know, 350 horsepower, and you can't really drive them because you're always doing this with the steering wheel, just trying to keep the car straight. This is just brilliant. So in terms of like say the exhaust note on this car, again, the car is completely stock. There's no like exhaust mods going off. You can, that was an Acorn by the way that hit the roof just then. We're on these country lanes, that's what tends to happen. So yeah, the exhaust note on this car, it's a stock exhaust. You do get a few like pops and bangs, nothing too intrusive, probably can't really hear much in the cabin. I'm driving the car now in sports gearbox mode, so I am using like the flappy paddles as well. But on like say downshifts, you don't get any kind of anti-lag or anything like that. You do get a bit of a DSG bang or a DSG fart as you call it on the upshifts. But again, it's not as loud as you'd find in like say the Golf GTi or the Golf R Mark 7 per se, but it's just got the right balance in this car, because the GTI has always been like a grown-up type of car, so it's not too ASBO, because then you've got your Ford Focus STs and the RSs for that, and it's not too like say track focused like the Megane Trophy R or whatever those were on this kind of era of cars. This has got the right balance between a country lane hoon of a car as well as a car that you can just drive around town. You know, it's got the right sort of class appeal is what I'm trying to say. So guys, I do hope that you've found this video enjoyable to watch. It is an impressions video. I am quite disappointed that at one moment in life I had the opportunity to buy this car and I didn't. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to buy this car now with the way things are going with like my M4 and like my other cars that I've got. I don't know if I've got the space for this right now, but it's certainly a car that if I do end up say swapping around like my current crop of cars, it's one that's definitely going to be on my consideration list, just put it that way. So guys, I really hope that you have found this video useful. If you have, give it a like, share, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully guys I'll see you on the next one. Give you a bit of a downshift.